Hey, it was a red, white, and blue weekend for BYU's James Corrigan, who ran the race of his life to qualify for the Olympics, joining teammate Kenneth Rooks, who qualified a couple of weeks ago. Both are going to Paris to run the Steeplechase and more at the Olympics, but before they do, they're here on the Wise Guys. First of all, congratulations to both of you, and thanks for hanging out with us at the end of a media day tour for both of you. Nice job.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah.
How's it feel?
Well, it feels great. It feels a little different having James here. It feels, I don't know. It feels a lot better. It was really exciting to be with James this last weekend and to see him run the time that he did to qualify, and to be a little bit a part of that, and also just to finish and win and know that I was an Olympian, and then see that James behind me got third. And it was exciting. We knew he had some extra work to do this last weekend to get that qualifying time. But regardless of whether he hit that time or not, it was a special moment to turn around and to see that he had got third, and that we had an opportunity to go together, and now we are going together. That's
pretty cool. And we're going to tell a little bit more about that story in just a second. I want to start with you, Kenneth. You placed first at the Olympic trials, obviously.
Yeah.
And you had a national ranking high enough to get you on the team. So you've had a couple of weeks for this to set in. Like, you've known you're going to Paris for a couple of weeks. How does that feel to know that you punched that ticket and you're on your way to compete?
It's been a little bit surreal. It feels a little bit like a dream. It's also a little bit of a relief, because I've had my eyes set on the Olympic trials ever since winning USA's last year.
Yeah.
And it's just exciting to be healthy and to put in the work for another year. And I feel like I'm more fit this year than last year, and to finish the race without any hiccups, no falls this time.
Yeah, that's a good thing. We'll talk about that too.
Those were dramatic, though.
But it's awesome. We have a great team, me and Matt Wilkinson and James, and it's just been really special, especially to share this with my wife. We just got married 4 weeks ago, and this man's getting married in 5 days.
My goodness.
We got a lot on the list
We're going to talk about all this stuff.
So, James, your journey is a little tougher. You finished third at the trials, which was fantastic, but you needed to hit the Olympic qualifying time of 8:15. So there's one last race that gets put together, Coach Ed Eyestone and his magic, and you go to Pennsylvania on short rest Saturday night. You not only hit the Olympic time, you break this guy's program record. You're just a sophomore. You're a professional. You're a sophomore. What the heck? How'd you pull all this off?
I wish I had an easy answer, but I think that, man, I wish I could say this better. I wish I could explain everything that's in my head. Things are a little crazy right now, but I think the overall idea is that when you surround yourself with great people, great things happen. And when you're around great things, your perception on what's great changes as well. And so seeing Kenneth do what he did last year, obviously it was insane.
Yeah.
And I remember being part of the watch party and freaking out and thinking no one's going to touch this guy's record for years because of how insane it was. And so it's not something you necessarily are thinking about then, but because of the precedent Kenny set, as I went through all these races and as I was racing in the trials, I think I not only had my own confidence of what I'd done, which wasn't much based off of my NCAA season, but I think I also had the confidence of Kenny, and I had the confidence of Connor and Clayton and Ed and Ryan, all these coaches and professional athletes that just exude confidence, and so that rubs off on me for sure. And I feel like I have a spot and I belong in some of these races, and I think that really helped me outrace a lot of
people. Hey, look, Blaine, who's on the live stream tonight? Henry Marsh. Congratulations, guys.
Congratulations.
Amazing.
From the GOAT, right?
Oh, man.
Henry Marsh.
Awesome.
He sat right in that chair not that long ago and told us about what it was like to toe the line when he was the best in the world, and how he would have to convince himself that he was, and he would. I said to him, "What it's like to know that you're the baddest man in the world at an individual event?" He goes, "I would have to just tell myself that every time because I couldn't believe that I was. I was just like, these guys cannot run with you. You're the best. Go show it, right?" So, and you guys have a chance to follow in Henry's legacy, which is really cool. Before you guys came, and before we got to visit with you for a minute before the show, we were talking about how crazy it is that 6 weeks ago your PR, his personal record, was 8:46:40. You took 33 seconds off your PR. How in the world does that happen? Because it doesn't happen very often in track and field to go that quickly, that low.
I'm not
happened?
sure it ever happened.
Explain this to us, because we don't get it.
Yeah, you bet. I'll do my best. Well, I think there was a couple things. One, we were very intentional this season with my training, and I say it was mainly just me being like, okay, I'm not going to kill stuff when it's not time to kill stuff. I'm going to do my best to, do what Ed says. And so that's the easy answer, is I did what Ed said this year as much as I could, follow as closely as possible. On workouts where I was like, man, this feels a little easier, I was like, that's okay. Just another day in the in the books. I don't know how else to say that, but sure. I just treated it like the job that it was. And so I think instead of trying to kill workouts early and getting super fit, I was trying to focus on peaking at the right time. So that was one part. And the second part was that a lot of the season was about advancing, surviving, and winning championship season races. And so you may not have seen, my full potential, neither did I, but I think we knew it was there. I didn't know to that extent for sure, but I knew that there was a lot in me that I had to give. And so those two things combined, seeing everything happen at just the right time in terms of my all my efforts peaking at the right time, and then also having an opportunity where things are just set up to run as fast as I possibly can. Granted, it's kind of a crazy amount of time to drop, but I hope that gives some insight into that.
So you cross the finish line Saturday night. You look up and you see your time immediately.
Yeah.
You know you're going to Paris.
Yeah.
Describe the emotion of, oh my gosh, you just did it.
Yeah, it was a lot. I think it started a mile into the race. We have 7.5 laps. It's just under 2 miles. A mile into the race, I told myself, you're telling yourself you're going to the Olympics, but a mile in, we were a second under pace, and I said it out loud. I was like, I'm going to the Olympics. And just because I've run now this season, I've run almost every single race with Steeplechase, and it's just been so many races to the point where I just felt so confident a mile in that I was going to do this thing. And then with 2 laps to go, I never look at the clock in a steeple race except for 2 laps to go. That's the one license I give myself. And so I saw the time, and I was right on, and I was like, oh my goodness, we're doing this. And with a lap to go, I couldn't contain myself. Kenny saw me, I smiled with a lap to go. And obviously, if you see any of the pictures of the last lap, my face is all contorted and sure. all tight and stuff. But with a lap to go, I was just so excited. And so coming down the home stretch, not even crossing the line yet, I had to be careful, but I kind of pointed at the clock for a second because I was like, can you guys believe this? And then I crossed, and I'm just so elated. And so there was a lot, like starting halfway through the race, where I was just like, oh my goodness, this is really happening. And it was just a huge build up, and then everybody erupting into cheering and stuff was just the best feeling ever.
It's amazing, and you're a 2-time defending national champion, Kenneth.
Yeah.
To shave that kind of time over that 6-week period to get to the Olympics, which isn't just a college thing, right? It's everybody. Knocking that time off of James's time. How impressed are you with what he pulled off?
I'm really impressed. It's an incredible story. It's incredible to see what he's done this year, and the focus that he's had on the process, on racing, and also on the little things. There's been times where James has pulled me off to the side, like, hey, I want to work on my hurdle form. Like, what could we do to work on my hurdle form so that I'm not like, I don't feel as smooth as I want to be. So we've talked about that, and we worked on that sometimes. But it's been a lot of things. I don't know about. Let's see. I'm trying to think. I think Henry Marsh actually had a similar year. Not the same, but he had a year where I think when he qualified for the Olympics the first time, where he started out the year kind of slow, and then he worked down to like 8:26.
And he didn't even have a scholarship.
Yeah,
he was a walk-on.
So yeah, so I do know that story. So there is a little bit of a story out there as well with Henry Marsh, but I'm just incredibly humbled, and I'm incredibly excited for James. I'm so happy he broke my school record. Yeah. And I'm happy I was able to be there to see it, and to be maybe a little bit of a part of it, to just cheer him on, sure. And kind of be in his face as he was going around, and just helping him stay focused on that. But a big shout out to Daniel Mikowski, who did a great job pacing that day.
Yeah, we saw the Pacers out there helping you keep on track, right?
Oh, that's great. Can I say something on that really quickly?
Yeah.
First of all, again, shout out to Dan. He did the greatest pacing job I think I've ever witnessed. If you look back at the splits, it was 65 point, all the way through.
And that's what he did
entire lap.
exactly what you needed him to do, right?
Yeah.
So that was one. But I wanted to mention real quick before we moved on that I think that there's a phrase I love, which is someone's win doesn't have to be someone else's loss. And I think Kenny does super good at that. I mean, obviously, like, you hear him saying, like, I'm so glad he broke my score record, but he exemplifies this. You know what I mean? Like, me doing the awesome things that I did this year, like, it doesn't take away from Kenny at all. Well, it helps that he won, but it doesn't take away. And I think he does such a good job at being excited for me, but also still being willing to celebrate himself and realizing that just because I do something good doesn't mean that it takes away from his own performances. And I really appreciate that because it helps us just become better. And it's not like we're pitted against each other. And it's just, man, what can we do together against the rest of the world?
Yeah.
Well, and you guys are just really, for this sport, you're young still, right? So your peak is down the road here, hopefully in a couple of weeks. But who knows, in the next Olympics as well, right? So I was really interested to hear you how you were talking to yourself as you're going around. Like, hey, you know what? I'm 1 second. I'm doing this. Like, this is coming through. And we talked about what Henry used to get up and say, I'm the baddest in the world at this. Like, now I'm going to go out and show it.
Yeah.
Now you have a chance, both of you had a chance to go and compete on the world stage here in the Olympics. What's your expectation there? And what do you tell yourselves as you're running over there in Paris?
I think that for me personally, I learned last year going to Worlds that it's just another race. It's against some of the best guys in the world. But one thing that Coach Icestone sometimes reminds me before big races is that I belong in that group. And so similar to Henry Marsh, like, I am one of the best in the world. I think I can say that. I think James can say that. And we do get to train together. I feel like at BYU and just in general, I feel like I'm training with some of the best athletes in the world every day. And I'm grateful that I'm a part of it. And I feel like I am the best. It's hard to say. I don't think I'm necessarily the best in the world, but do you have a chance? Do you have a chance to be the best in the world at some point?
Yeah,
I think I have the chance to be the best in the world, and especially when I towed the line at the Olympic trials, I knew I was the best, and I went in with that kind of confidence, but also with the humility that, like, I respect all these guys, and I know it's going to be incredibly difficult to beat these guys, and they're going to go out and put out their best. I mean, I respect all those athletes. I feel bad for Hillary. He fell down. I respect him a lot, and he was looking really good this year. He had a really hard fall. But even with him, he's really gracious. And even after the race, he told me, he sent a message telling me congratulations and telling James congratulations and wishing us good luck for helping get James through on Saturday as well. And so, anyways, I respect the guys, but at the same time recognize that I am good and that, like, there's very few people out there who can beat me. So.
There's very few people who can fall in a race, fall in last place, to get up
let's talk about
and
that.
beat everybody else. BYU Olympians James Corrigan and Kenneth Rooks on the Wise Guys tonight, presented by Brady Plus. They'll represent Team USA later this month in Paris. Couple more questions. We got to get you out of here. On top of all that you got going on, James, you're getting married on Friday.
That's right.
Understand that the honeymoon plans have shifted continents, right? So
Sounds like it, yeah.
How's this all working out here?
Yeah, we were planning on going to Mexico, and actually just right before this, I talked to my fiance, and we said maybe we postpone this to get some good training in. But hey, join me in Europe. We'll touch down in Paris and then go to Switzerland for some training, and come with me, and it'll be a good time. So
getting married, still that's not just,
that didn't get postponed.
That didn't get postponed.
No, sir.
Yeah.
The Olympics can't get in the way of that.
No.
But that's cool. You're going from one cool place to another cool place, and this time to run. What's it going to feel like with the United States across your chest, guys?
Ooh, man, it's gonna be special. I remember the first moment, like last year, when I went to Worlds and I was towing the line, and I looked up on the jumbotron, and I was up there, and I was wearing Team USA, and it kind of hit me like, oh my gosh, I'm running at the World Championships and running for Team USA right now. I'm sure there's going to be some moment similar to that for me this summer where I have that uniform on, and I'm going to realize like, wow, I'm here at the Olympics. I'm repping Team USA, but I mean, we represent more than just that. But
Sure.
It's really special and I'm excited to. We haven't got the gear yet. I'm excited to get the gear, and
cool.
excited to be out there and
You get the gear and you go into opening ceremonies, right? Like, have you thought about
Yeah.
that? That's got to be a cool thing to be able to do, right?
Yeah, I haven't thought about it too much. So I'm not gonna lie yet. I know, in the next couple of days, the implications of what's happened is still gonna set in, and it's like, oh, those clothes I tried on, I get to keep those now. And
Yeah.
it was tough because we went through our processing, we call it, and we try everything on in case we do go. But it's just like, you got to stay emotionally level-headed, and now I can enjoy, all the excitement, all the buzz around that. So it's going to be great.
Find Courtney Wayman, find Jimmer, and a couple of the other former Cougars that are going to be representing, and you guys can all march into Paris together.
Yeah,
That'll
it's
be
gonna
awesome.
be fun. Gonna be awesome.
Very cool. BYU has become, we used to call it quarterback U. No longer. It's Steeplechase U now, is what it is.
That's right.
It's awesome.
You.
This is also an opportunity to you represent yourselves, your family, you represent your faith, you represent BYU, you represent your country. No pressure. This is just 5 big things. You should be fine, right?
Oh, of course.
You're running for your life in Pennsylvania. Now you're running for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, I feel like the pressure has just gotten bigger and bigger, and we can take a break from it now. But I've learned so much about, just handling pressure well from Kenny and from all of our heritage at BYU, all the great athletes. And I think, if anything, this one will just be the most exciting pressure. It's a good pressure to have. It's a good problem to run into when you got this kind of pressure. And I think running for USA is going to be a cool feeling. It's the same that I have when I put on a BYU uniform and I look up at the Jumbotron, like Kenny was saying. And sometimes it's nice to just feel that feeling of gratitude, like, oh my goodness, there's not many people that can be on this team, first of all, and second of all, that get to rep the Y in such a high standard. And so to do that for all those 5 categories, it's going to be really special, and it's something that I'm totally fine taking the pressure for.
Yeah.
I hope you get to do what Kenny did, because it's cool. When you're in a huge moment, it's always good to just take one breath and recognize the huge moment and go, this is really cool. And it sounds like you did. Like, wait a minute, I'm on the Jumbotron at Worlds, and there'll be moments in the Olympics when you can step out of it and just go, this is really, I hope you guys get a chance to enjoy that, because it's, and relish it while you're in it and not just when you look back, right?
Right
Yeah.
on.
Guys, we're proud of you.
Thank you.
You guys took tough runs to get there. You go last July is when you fell down, got up and won. Here this July, you're running for Team USA. Yep. Saturday night.
By the way, one of the greatest sports moments I've ever seen.
Oh,
and I've called some cool ones.
And
but
you know what? James,
you.
your sports moment was dramatic as well. I mean, both you guys walk out of here with big stories to tell.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think we've got some cool stories to tell our kids one day.
Yes.
We look forward to you coming back and hanging out with us and telling us what it was like to run against the world.
When you come back, we gotta have you come in and tell us. And I want to hear about those moments when you stepped out and just enjoyed it. I want to hear all about it.
Oh yeah, we'll have a lot of those.
We will. We will.
Yeah. So
Kenny will make sure to come back with a medal for us to
Yes, we would love that
Ready?
too.